Apologies if I sound rushed, but I really want to make sure you're in exactly the right spot. In this video, I'm about to show you over the shoulder how I managed to go from dad bod to six-pack, and more specifically how I managed to lose well over 65 pounds in 1 year. But not just pounds, we're talking about pounds of fat while I was just building muscle and getting bigger day by day. And more importantly, how I managed to maintain this look for years and years on end without being hungry, having motivation and laziness issues, and without having to live in the gym to maintain this physique. In fact, achieving this look and maintaining it is now on the back burner, on autopilot, while I just spend most of my day working on my business, taking my dog for a walk, taking care of my family, spending time with my girlfriend, or just enjoying life. And that's exactly what I teach and preach, and what my students manage to do as well. Here's John, 30 years old, police officer, managed to kill the dad bod and reveal his well-defined six-pack in 16 weeks. Lefteris, 39, accountant, father of 3, managed to get rid of all the belly fat and quote-unquote feel 10 years younger. He managed to actually lose well over 70 pounds in the last year. Dionysus, retail executive, came to me depressed because, as he said, he tried everything and nothing seemed to be working. He told me he's not proud of where he is, and he doesn't really post on social media and doesn't really go out. We start working together and boom, now he's happy, fulfilled, start going out, not thinking twice before posting on social media, and getting a bunch of compliments along the way, and even a girlfriend. And I'm really happy for him. And Nick, 59 years old, with zero prior experience, is working a 9 to 5 plus running a side hustle, an e-commerce store. He managed to hit a home run in the absolute first try, just following my process, of course. And he thanked me. He said now his life has changed dramatically and that his wife has definitely taken notice. But that's not all. Take a look at this ocean of results down below. I've helped tons of people get the exact same results, and good news, you're at the exact same place as they were. So buckle up, as I'm about to teach you how to achieve the exact same results. It has to do with 5 non-negotiable steps that you must follow in order to get rid of the dad bod, lean down, lose weight, burn fat, and reveal your six-pack finally, if that's what you want. The 6 steps are the triple F method. What's that? The fast-paced fasting feedback loop method, which we'll go over later. And why is it the hands-down best way to get lean? And number 2, how to fast without being hungry all the time. 3, why motivation is for losers and what to do instead. 4, how to fast and get lean without living in the gym. 5, how to fast and get lean without losing any muscle, but instead of that, build muscle. And 6, how to break through the notorious six-pack wall. Have you ever noticed that you try to lose some fat? Yes, you do. You successfully lose some fat, lean down a little bit, but you don't really get that six-pack, that chiseled look. It's like a wall that's stopping you, an invisible wall. Well, I'll tell you how exactly to fix that as well. Sounds good? Awesome. But before we go over the 6 steps and the training and the tactic and all of that nice stuff, let's just address the elephant in the room. And the obvious question you might have, who the hell is this guy that's talking to me right now? Well, thanks for asking. My name is Sharo, and you might not know me, and that's totally cool. But here in Greece, and I don't really mean to toot my own horn, but I'm a pretty big deal. I'm a certified personal trainer and have had coached hundreds of people throughout the years into achieving their dream physiques. And where I come from, I'm the go-to fat loss expert with tons of results and science that back up every single word I say. And listen, truth is, there are a ton of fat loss gurus out there. Why choose me? Well, truth is, these fat loss gurus out there were just born with abs, and now they try to teach others how to get abs as well. Like, I don't know, maybe choose better parents or something. Well, jokes aside, just think about that for a second. It's like having a fish teaching you how to swim. The idea by itself is ridiculous and point blank, it's not gonna happen. But that's not the case with me. Before all of that, I was just another fat kiddo, and I never minded really being overweight, but that changed fast when I got rejected a couple of times by some girls. And there was this one girl that I was trying to impress and hit on at a family gathering, and while I was talking to her, she started taking pictures of my gut, which was really embarrassing and sad, as I kid, I started struggling a lot with confidence, and I even asked for the picture to have it and remind myself why I started this journey to lose the fat and be the best version of me. But it stopped being for girls. That was when I was a kid. My motivation was girls, but now it's more for me. The body doesn't define who you are, but it reflects upon who you are. It's like a mirror. So I want a body that matches my personality and my attitude, and I feel inside I am a lion. So I don't want to be in a sheep's body, I want to be in a lion's body. I don't know if that makes sense for you. And anyway, when I was a kid, I got bullied into oblivion by friends and family. So I was like, damn, I gotta lose some weight, right? And so I started reading all these magazines, following all this typical advice, like 10 meals a day, chicken, broccoli, rice, blunt foods, ending up always hungry, like doing tons of cardio, living in the gym, the typical stuff, the bro science stuff. And I felt like groggy all the time, hungry all the time, and I was feeling like I'm losing a ton of muscle. I was getting like scrawny, but I wasn't getting this nice, lean, chiseled look. And I wasn't really progressing. And as I said, I was losing some weight, but I wasn't getting that lean to get my six-pack to really, really show. And that's what I refer to as the six-pack wall, where you do lose some weight, but you lose muscle, or you just get flat, but you don't really get that lean, muscular look that you've been looking for, like the Greek god look. Here in Greece, we talk about this look as the Greek god look. So that's a six-pack wall. Yes, you get lean, but you don't really hit that Greek god status, right? And yeah, I would lose, and then I would just gain the weight back. I was like, yeah, I got to bulk up, right? And I would gain the weight back, and then I would lose the weight again. It's just this perpetual cycle, and people were asking me, like, why the hell are you, like, getting fat and thin all the time? I was like, no, bro, you don't get me. I'm bulking right now, right? So yeah, I was just coping because I was just failing to get that lean Greek god look, right? So I felt trapped, I felt alone, it sucked, it really sucked, because I was trying for years and years, I was just failing for years and years. One thing I had going for me is that I'm really, really persistent, right? And then I stumbled across fasting, like this new thing, this amazing thing, the new way of doing things. No more broccoli and rice, no more chicken, and no more breakfast and 10 meals a day. Now you're fasting. Now you're fasting for 16 hours and you're eating a couple of meals. And yes, it was much easier to get in a deficit and just lose some fat. I was less hungry, I had more motivation, and we'll go over the steps and how to do it exactly later on. But I still hit that six-pack wall. I couldn't still get lean. It was easier when I was fasting to diet down and adhere to a diet, but I was still chubby, right? And it didn't get me lean. It didn't get me where I wanted to be. And then during that time, I also got into programming, right? And I started writing code, and I was shocked at how fast I was learning to code. And then I thought about losing weight, losing fat, getting that Greek god look, getting that chiseled body. And I compared the two, and like getting lean took me like 10 years, and I was progressing very, very slowly. But learning to code took me 3 months, and I was like a pro programmer, right? I landed like a job at some startup here in Greece, right? And I compared the two, and I tried to find the reason. What was the main difference? Why coding took so little time to learn, and it was so easy for me, even though coding isn't easy by itself, but losing weight, getting lean was so hard for me. And the difference was this one thing: how fast I was getting feedback, how fast I was being told, I was learning that what I'm doing is wrong or right, right? Like, think about it for a second. You're writing code, you hit enter, the code either runs or just you get hit with an error. And if you get hit with an error, the compiler even tells you exactly where that error is. You fix that error, you hit enter again, and the same thing happens. It either runs or you get hit with an error, and you keep doing that until the code actually runs properly, right? But when you're trying to lose weight, when you're trying to lean down, what are you doing? Well, you set up a diet plan, a training plan, and you adhere to it. But it's not a second, it doesn't take a second to figure out if what you've been doing is right or wrong. It takes like months, right? It takes 3 months. It takes 1 year. I remember multiple times waking up and realizing that the past year I did make zero progress in my weight loss efforts. It took me literally 1 year. The thing that was taking me 1 second in programming, in weight loss and leaning down and fat loss was taking me months or even a year to figure out. So that was the big difference among those two. So as soon as I realized that it wasn't some new fat diet, it wasn't some new training technique or pill or something, and it was just about taking fast feedback, even if you're failing, fail fast, and then just iterate according to that, according to the feedback. And since I started doing that, everything just became so much easier. Because truth is, it's not like you're doing everything wrong. It's not like you need to make some massive change in your diet or lifestyle. If you're trying to get healthy, you're probably doing some things right, and maybe some things you're doing are not the best way to go about it. So instead of just drastically changing everything each time you realize what's not working, why not just iterate and get to where you want to be real fast, right? So what I did was shorten the feedback loop of months to 2 weeks, get the feedback, tweak what I'm already doing, and take it from there. And as soon as I did that, I just got lean like that. It was the easiest thing ever. I was just shook. I was just hitting my head, banging my head against the wall because I've been struggling for so long, right? And yeah, then I start posting my pics shirtless because that's what you're supposed to do. And people started like following me, asking me for advice. And then I start coaching people and posting videos. And then I became this like fat loss guru expert that I am today. And since then, I've never looked back. And I think I would make my younger self proud. And I am proud every day I wake up. Sometimes I look myself in the mirror and I see my six-pack and I'm like, whoa. I didn't expect to see a six-pack there because I was used to being fat all my life. So it's so nice to just live life and look good with your clothes on, having nice clothes that fit you perfectly. Even if I go to a beach and I take my shirt off, I don't worry about what other people are thinking. Just take my shirt off and I just have fun. I don't think about it twice. And yeah, that's what I want to do for you as well. Just be able to enjoy life, fix that fat loss problem once and for all, and be able to focus on other areas of your life. I don't think you have time to waste on just trying to lose weight and lose fat like year after year after year, right? So yeah, let's get started with the training, shall we? So let's get started with the training. So the secret number one, the step number one, I'll go over the triple F method, which stands for fasting, fast-paced, feedback, method. Okay, so fasting. What's fasting? So you probably know about fasting, and if you don't, I'll just go over the summary right here. So the protocol is like 16-8. Now you might be thinking about 20 to 4 or like 24 to like whatever, but that's just BS. It's like chase and tell stuff. As I said, like the fasting thing is good, it's great, it helps you a lot, but it's not the solution. Okay, so hear me out. Now, you're fasting for 16 hours, you're eating for 8 hours, and that's total sums up 24 hours. Now, 16 hours, your fasting means that you don't consume any calories. You're drinking water, you're drinking coffee, you might take like, even if you smoke, you're allowed to smoke when you're fasting, and then you have your first meal of the day, first big meal, and then you have your second big meal. So if, let's say, you need 2200 calories to burn fat, that's like, you eat let's say you eat 1000 here, and another 1000 here, and you still have 200 calories left for a snack somewhere around here. Okay, so definitely it's much easier to just eat 2 big 1000 calorie meals instead of 6 small 500 meals. It's much easier to adhere to. You get less hungry. We'll go over those tips in a second. Okay, so that's out of the way. Now, what's the fast-paced feedback method? Let's see. Okay, was too hot, took my shirt off. Anyway, so here is not where everybody gets it wrong. Here is where everybody gets it wrong and how I used to get it wrong as well. So The first step is the feedback period, okay? People wait 3 months to figure out if they're losing fat or not. Sometimes, as I said, it took me even 1 year to just wake up one day, look myself in the mirror, and get hit with the hard fact, the hard-hitting fact that I didn't make any progress the past year. But let's not take a year, which is like the worst case scenario. Let's take 3 months. So you wait 3 months to figure out if you're losing fat or not. That's too long, okay? With my way of doing things, you just wait 2 weeks, which is like 14 days. All you have to do is wait for 14 days, and then you figure out if what you're doing is wrong or right? So instead of waiting 3 months and then seeing if you've lost 20 pounds or not, you just wait 2 weeks to figure out if you've lost 2, 3, or 4, or whatever your target weight loss speed is. Okay, so you just shorten the feedback way. This is the right way to do it. 2 weeks. This is the wrong way to do it. 3 months. Okay, now let's go over the second one. That's the feedback period. Diagnosing the problem. Okay, in the first case scenario, just make assumptions that are not based in logic. Just because you've wasted 3 months and you didn't hit your goal target, then you get really emotional and you just start getting angry and you're like, oh my god, everything I've been doing was wrong, so let's try this new way of fasting. It's like I fast alternate days, and let's try keto and this thing and this other thing, and just get too emotional, just start buying things and stuff, right? So that's the wrong way of doing things, assuming that everything you've been doing is wrong. Now the right way of doing the thing is diagnosing the problem. So yes, truth is, not everything you've been doing is wrong. Maybe 2 out of 10 things you've been doing were not optimal. You just need to diagnose these things, okay? So diagnosing the problem instead of making assumptions that are based on emotion. Let's go over the next one, which is drastic change. As I said, you get too emotional, you make some assumptions. I used to get too emotional, I used to make assumptions, and then I would make some drastic change. Okay, I'll stop eating now forever, right? That's wrong. What's the right way to do it? Just tweak it. Okay, let's see what I've been doing right, what I've been doing wrong. Okay, I got it. Let's just tweak what I've already been doing, right? So that's the right way to do it. Then you just repeat. Okay, so think about it for a second. You wait 3 months, you make an assumption, you make a drastic change, you wait another 3 months. Chances are your assumption was wrong and you didn't need to do the drastic change. So even the next 3 months you still fail and it's like 2-3 times of failing. Okay, that's 2-3 times of failing, and now you've just lost like 9 months. Okay, and you're just chasing tail. Now think about this. You wait 2 weeks, and instead of losing like 4 or 5 pounds, you've lost 3 pounds. You diagnose why, you fix that, and now you start losing weight and fat exactly as much as you're supposed to. Okay, so you don't really lose anything. You're just like 1 pound behind, and you catch up to it the following weeks, right? So in just a 3-month period, which is 12 weeks, you can get away with 6 feedback loops, which is a ton of data that you can diagnose, you can analyze, and you can iterate, right? So 6 feedback loops, and at the end of the 3 months, you achieve your goal. Okay, even if you didn't lose, like, let's say you want to lose 20 pounds of fat and you've lost like 19, that's still great. If you've lost 21, that's still great. It doesn't have to be bull's eye, right? So that's the big difference, and why I used to fail a lot. And when people come to me, that's the big thing they've been doing wrong. And listen, it's like the hardest part is diagnosing and tweaking properly. So of course, you won't be able to do it perfectly from the get-go. Okay, you can go and try for yourself, but you can also have a coach guide you and coach you through, right? So if you want to get coached by someone that has done it again and again and again, for me it's just rinse and repeat. It's like the easiest thing ever. You can just click the link below and book a call with me. Okay, so that's the step number 1, how to fast with the fasting, the triple F method. and get lean and get that Greek god body. Okay, let's go over the next secret, which is how to fast and not be hungry all the time. Okay, so let me just... Okay, let's go over how to fast without being hungry all the time. Okay, so when you're fasting, it's much easier to not be hungry because you're eating 2 big meals, so you feel stuffed and your stomach stretches out twice a day instead of once per week, where you get to have your cheat meal, you know. But you know, and the reason I'm talking about the stomach stretching is because of the hormone leptin that gets released. Yeah, right. So when your let's say this is your stomach. I know I'm great at drawing. When your stomach is empty or not just stretched out, your body doesn't release leptin. When your stomach gets stretched out, then your body releases leptin, which is the hunger hormone. This is what regulates how hungry you feel or not. Okay, so you want to have your stomach stretched out every now and then, and ideally you want it to have it stretched out at least once a day. So at least once a day you want to have a big meal that gets you stuffed, and even if you wanted to, you can't eat more, right? So that's the tip number 1. Tip number 2, when you're fasting, make sure the 8 hours of fasting are when you're sleeping. Okay, so when you're sleeping you can be eating, so 8 hours out of 16 are gone. Now the rest 8 hours you drink coffee. Okay, a big huge hack is coffee. Coffee suppresses appetite and makes you more productive. So yeah, whenever you feel hungry, just drink a cup of coffee without a ton of creams and sugars, right? Just coffee. Simple as that. Now, when you break your fast, you eat 1 big meal, then you eat another big meal, and you're really stuffed. So that's the hunger is not really an issue. And also, a huge difference of the triple F method and just fasting is that when you just tweak what you've already been doing instead of making a drastic change. Think about it for a second. Like, let's say you're eating like 2200 calories and you're losing, let's say, 4 pounds instead of 5. Then maybe you need to drop your calories to 2100 or just do a little bit more cardio. So that won't make you really hungry, right? But imagine now making a drastic change where you like cut out a food group and you stop like eating at all, and instead of eating like 2200 calories, now you're eating 1000 calories. Then you'll be craving, and there's nothing to do about that. There's no solution. The solution is to not eat 1000 calories per day, and then you get hungry, leptin gets released and stuff, and you get even more hungry, and then you end up binging. So yeah, a huge hack is to just tweak what you've already been doing instead of making a huge drastic change. Okay, so let's talk about motivation. How to get lean without having motivation issues, getting lazy, and just losing motivation and not feeling like it, right? So the problem, how motivation works is like a battery that runs out, and this battery gets charged again each time you hit some success. Okay, so if you've been doing the old way of fasting, which is like waiting 3 months or 4 months or not really thinking about it and just fasting and expecting one day to wake up and be shredded, and you don't see this day in day out, at some point this battery runs out, right? And there's nothing to do about that. Just lost motivation because you're not seeing the results. Now think about, and that's what I do in this graph. Like, you start with a full bar of motivation, you wait 9 months, motivation runs out. Now think about waiting just 2 weeks. Your motivation tank gets lower. Now there are 2 cases here, 2 possibilities. One is success. Okay, so let's say you do lose the fat that you've been expecting to. So what does that make you? Fully motivated. Once you start seeing results, you get addicted to it. Okay, so best case scenario, you hit success from the get-go, and now you're fully motivated to keep going. Just 2 weeks. In just 2 weeks. Okay, now worst case scenario, you don't see results. Okay, so motivation, yes, runs out, but not completely. You don't deplete your motivation, right? So just lose some motivation, but you still have a ton of motivation to go around. Now, two scenarios here. You either succeed, lose the fat in the second try, so you get fully motivated, or you fail again, so you lose a little bit more motivation. But just because the feedback loop is 2 weeks instead of 3 months, that's the benefit of the triple F method. You get to try a ton of times until you can lose your motivation totally, right? So with the old way I was doing things, it was I had only one try, which was like 9 months or a year of trying to lose the fat. If that didn't work out, I'd lose motivation for like a month or 2 or even a year, and then I'd try again. But with the new way I'm doing things, it only takes 2 weeks, so you get to have multiple goes at it and try it multiple times until you totally lose motivation. And from experience, it only takes 1 or 2 iterations, 1 or 2 feedback loops until we hit the holy grail of fat loss for you, you know, because it's different for everybody. But even failing 10 times, it doesn't really happen that often. With me, we get it right from the get-go, or even if we don't get it right from the get-go, we get it right after 2 or maximum 4 weeks. And then it gets so easy because we find out exactly what works for you, and you just have to keep doing that, which is, as I said, not some drastic change, and you get lean. So if you want to get coached by me, feel free to book the call below. We'll see if you're a great fit, and we'll talk there. Because you don't have unlimited motivation, your motivation is finite, so you have to be careful of what you do and where you're using your motivation gas. So if you want to do it right from the get-go, just book the call below. Okay, so let's go over to the next one, which is how to fast to get lean without living in the gym. Let's go over that one. So let's go over the number 4 step, which is how to get lean without living in the gym. So that's a mistake I used to do as well. I used to spend hours and hours in the weight room and doing like these rigorous cardio sessions, and just looking at the cardio machine at some point start giving me a headache, and I felt nauseous just by looking at the cardio machine. It sucked, so I just stopped cardio altogether for a long period of time, and then I started incorporating it again in my training plans. But that's how much I was traumatized by freaking cardio. So the big, huge mistake people do is when they're trying to burn fat in the gym or working out while working out. So think about this for a second. 300 calories. In order to burn 300 calories, you'll have to do 1 hour of cardio, okay? Now, you can either, you know what else is 300 calories? A banana. So you can either run for 1 hour, like kill yourself for an hour, or just make sure you don't eat that banana. Which is easier? Which one do you think it's easier? Of course, this freaking banana, okay? Not eating the banana, it's much easier. And that's why I keep talking about the fast-paced feedback loop method, because it's much easier to figure out when to stop eating and not to eat that banana, instead of just trying to outrun a bad diet or just a plan that has no structure, no purpose, and no proper methodology, right? So each time you don't lose weight, just think about your diet and where is this banana, and just remove this banana and stop eating that banana, and you'll keep losing weight. Like the difference between you and having the dad bod and you being lean and chiseled could be literally not eating 1 banana per day. Okay, so I'm not trying to give shade to banana. It's a great fruit, but it's just an example of just having 300 calories without even realizing it. And yes, it's much easier to not eat the banana instead of doing 1 hour of cardio. Okay, now a huge misconception, guys. In the gym, when working out, even if you're at home, even if your gym is locked down and you're doing like some type of home workouts, guys, when we're working out, we're building muscle. In the weight room, when you're lifting weights, you're trying to build muscle. You don't try to lose fat in the weight room. You try to lose fat with dieting and fasting, okay? So, dieting and fasting for fat loss. Weights and gym for muscle building, and that's why people lose a ton of muscle when they're trying to cut weight, because they start doing these weird, stupid routines where they just jump around, run around, and they try to like do 100 reps because they burn more fat. But guess what? It burns a ton of muscle as well. Guys, in the weight room, we're trying to build muscle. So when you're leaning down, but you're doing proper workouts, you get to maintain the muscle. Okay? So think about this for a second. People, you know what they do? They go to the gym and they're like, oh, I'm bulking now. Let's build some muscle. And they build some muscle. And how did they build this muscle in the first place? By doing a specific workout, right? Hypertrophy workout. Now, they're like, okay, now I got the diet down. And what do? They switch their workouts and they do this fat burning workouts, right? So these fat burning workouts, yes, they burn like 100 or 200 calories more, but as I said, it's much easier to not eat that banana. So yeah, they try to burn fat through their workouts, but they stop doing the thing that gave them the muscle in the first place. So you can't expect to have your muscle when you stop working out properly. When you're trying to cut down, you have to keep working out properly. Okay, guys, one more time and we'll go over the next tip. In the gym, you're building muscle. In the diet, when working out and in the gym, you're building muscle. When you're dieting, you're trying to cut fat. You don't mix these two, okay? You don't. Now, if you want to get the best workout, the best dieting, the best fasting protocol, and if you want to do it right from the get-go, isn't it the best thing for you to just book a call below? Of course it is. So go ahead and do that. And we go. It's free. We'll talk on the phone, and we'll see if we regret fit. I can actually help you because I can't help everybody. And if you like have some ridiculous goal, maybe I can't help you. And so we'll just talk about your goals and stuff and figure out if I can help you or not. Okay. So this is how to get lean while fasting without living in the gym and without losing a ton of muscle. Now, let's go over the next one. Oh, so that was like tip number 4 and 5 together, because I said how to get lean without leaving the gym and how to get lean without losing any muscle. So I covered both of them. So we'll go over the last one, which is how to break through the 6-pack wall. Yeah, that's exciting. So let's go over that one, which is the 6-pack wall. Oh my, I used to diet down a lot. It took me like a decade to get lean and to get actually lean, get my abs to actually show. And the problem was, every time I would try to get lean, yes, I'd lose some weight, I'd lose some fat, but I wouldn't get that Greek god body that we have, like that saying in Greece, the Greek god body. I couldn't hit that goal, no matter how hard I tried, no matter what I tried. Okay, so it goes like this, right? This is your body fat levels. Okay, let's say you get started with 25%. And in order to get your abs to pop and show, let's say you need to go down to 12%. Okay, now, what used to happen to me is, yes, I'd lose some fat. At first it was much easy, it was like pretty easy. And then I would lose fat, and then I'd lose fat a lot slower, and then it would plateau at some point. Okay, and I wouldn't realize that I'm plateauing right here, because it's much harder. The leaner you get, much harder it gets to lean down and actually properly diagnose if you're losing fat or not. It's much easier to figure out if you're losing fat if it's like 10 pounds of fat because you're 25%. It's much harder to figure out if you're losing 2 pounds, which is the make or break difference between having a 6-pack abs or not, or just being like lean, being like thin, right? So I would start plateauing and I wouldn't realize that I did. And then like this is the 3 months. Okay, this is the 3-month period. And then what I would do is a drastic change. So maybe I was fasting 16 hours to 8, and then I would try keto out. Okay, and then it would take another 3 months just to realize that I'm not really losing any more fat. Why I'm not losing any more fat? Well, it's not like your fault in terms of like you're not trying hard enough. it's your body's fault because of your genes and your hormone levels. Now, and the reason being is genetic. Just like height, weight is based on genetics as well. Some people have the genes of maintaining a 10% body fat without even trying to. Some other people really struggle to hit 10%. We all have a genetic set point, meaning a set point, a body fat set point that makes us feel comfortable. If we eat less than that, if we lean down less than that, we feel more hungry. And if we eat more than that, we feel stuffed and sick. For one person, as I said, if they're genetically blessed, it is 10%. For another person, it's 20%. For another person, it's 15%. So what does that mean? When you hit that set point, all you have to do is do what you've already been doing much better. Okay, as I said, you don't have to make some drastic change. You just have to do whatever you've been doing better, right? So it's like running. If you run and you get third place, in order to get second place or first place, you don't start playing basketball or something. You just have to run faster. And then you get second. And if you want to get first place, you just have to what? Start playing baseball? No, just run faster. It's the same thing with fat loss. If you've been fasting for 16 hours and you lose 5 pounds and then you plateau, you don't switch that up to like keto or some stupid other method. You just have to do your fasting better. And if you lose another 2 pounds, you have to do it better if you plateaued. So if you're 5 out of 10, in how right you're doing it, you have to go to 7 out of 10 and 9 out of 10, right? So it goes back again to getting the feedback fast and figuring out that you plateaued within 2 weeks instead of 3 months, then properly diagnosing the problem and not just making assumptions and getting too emotional, and then tweaking it instead of just starting playing baseball or basketball. And it's easy as that. And then you repeat again and again and again until you get the lean, chiseled physique you've always been looking for. But of course, it's much easier said than done. So I'd encourage you to book a call below with me so we can get on the phone. It's free. We'll talk on the phone and we'll see if we regret fit, I can actually help you, because I can't help everybody. And if you like have some ridiculous goal, maybe I can't help you. And so we'll just talk about your goals and stuff and figure out if I can help you or not. Okay.